Since the dawn of time, humankind has looked up at the stars and wondered what the future holds. Ancient civilizations, from the Egyptians to the Mayans, not only gazed upon the heavens, but laid the groundwork for our modern understanding of technology, science, and time itself. These were civilizations that thrived on astronomical knowledge and possessed tools and machines far ahead of their era. But in their study of the cosmos, what kind of future did these societies envision? Hi, my name is Sebastian, and this is the first episode of History of the Future. What does it mean to predict the future? And how have humans across time envisioned what tomorrow might bring? In this video, we will journey across the timelines, back to the ancient Egyptians and Mayans and the minds of brilliant thinkers like Leonardo da Vinci. We'll explore how their astronomical expertise and early inventions laid the blueprint for future technologies. We will also delve into the early days of science fiction, where novels such as Frankenstein and The Sleeper Awakes gave us glimpses of societies grappling with the power of machines and human ambition. So, are you ready? Let's begin. The ancient Egyptians were master astronomers. The alignment of the Great Pyramid of Giza with Orion's belt and the fact that their temples were designed to mirror the movement of the stars speaks to their profound understanding of the cosmos. Egyptian priests meticulously observed the heavens, predicting everything from the flooding of the Nile to the cycles of the stars. But what did the Egyptians believe about the future? Their mythology suggests they perceived time as cyclical rather than linear. They believed in an eternal return, where civilization would rise, fall, and rise again, a cycle reflected in their depiction of gods like Osiris and Ra. In their vision, the future wasn't a distant foreign land, but rather a continuation of the eternal balance between life, death, and rebirth. Their monumental structures, such as the obelisks and pyramids, were built not only to honor the gods, but also to stand as timeless testaments for future generations. These structures might even be seen as messages encoded in stone for future civilizations to decipher. The Mayan civilization is another fascinating case when it comes to predicting the future. Best known for their complex calendar system, the Mayans had a sophisticated understanding of astronomical cycles and the passage of time. Their long-count calendar, which tracked vast cycles of time, famously predicted the end of one era in 2012, sparking widespread speculation about whether they had foreseen the end of the world or the birth of a new age. For the Mayans, time was sacred. They believed in an intricate cosmic order where every event had its place in an ever-repeating cycle. The future, as they saw it, was written in the stars and mapped out by divine forces. Unlike modern concepts of progress, the Mayans saw the civilization as part of an unending cosmic rhythm, and their future was one they could measure and predict with startling precision. While 2012 came and went without any global catastrophes, the Mayans' legacy endures as a civilization that viewed the future as something cyclical, controllable, and deeply connected to the movement of celestial bodies. Jump forward a few thousand years to the Renaissance, a period of human history filled with extraordinary minds, none more influential than Leonardo da Vinci. Often considered the ultimate Renaissance man, da Vinci was a painter, scientist, engineer, and importantly, an inventor of fantastical machines. His sketchbooks are filled with designs that seemed otherworldly at the time: flying machines, robots, and even mechanized knights. Leonardo da Vinci's early designs for flying machines predated modern airplanes by centuries. His concept of the ornithopter, a machine that mimicked the wings of birds, showed his desire to break free from earthly constraints and take to the skies. More strikingly still were his early sketches of thinking machines, what we would today call robots. One of his famous designs was the mechanical knight. Though it was never built during his lifetime, this robot was designed to move autonomously raising its arms, turning its head, and even sitting down. In a way, Da Vinci's mechanical knight could be considered an early ancestor of the modern robot. His ideas were often speculative, but they illustrate how even during the Renaissance, great minds were envisioning a future where machines might play a significant role in human society. The 18th century brought about a fascination with automata, self-operating machines that simulated human or animal actions. These were clockwork devices made with remarkable precision, designed to move, write, or play musical instruments on their own. French inventor Jacques de Vaucanson created several famous automata, including a mechanical flute player and a digesting duck which could simulate eating and excreting. These machines were not just toys, they were seen as marvels of human ingenuity, pushing the boundaries of what could be achieved through mechanical design. To many, these automata represented the future, a world where machines could think, act, and perform tasks like humans. So the line between human and machine had already begun to blur. In a sense, these early clockwork machines were a precursor to modern robotics. They also reflected humanity's age-old dream of creating life from inanimate materials, a theme that would soon find its way into literature. No discussion of the future and machines should be complete without talking about one of the first true works of science fiction, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Published in 1818, this novel explored the consequences of human ambition, technology, and the desire to play God. Victor Frankenstein's attempt to create life from dead matter through scientific means mirrors many of the philosophical questions we still face today regarding artificial intelligence and biotechnology. Frankenstein wasn't just a horror story. It was a profound commentary on the dangers of overstepping natural limits. Mary Shelley foresaw a future where science and technology could create beings that we may not fully understand or control. In many ways, her novel predicted the ethical dilemmas we now face as we develop advanced robotics, genetic engineering, and artificial intelligence. Today, the creation of life through artificial means is no longer confined to fiction. From robots that can learn to genetic manipulation, the future Shelley imagined in Frankenstein seems eerily close. The novel still serves as a warning. Just because we can do something doesn't always mean we should. While Shelley's Frankenstein asked questions about the ethics of creating life, H.G. Wells took a different approach. In his 1899 novel The Sleeper Awakes, Wells envisioned a future where technology had transformed society, but not necessarily for the better. The story follows a man who falls into a coma and wakes up 200 years later in a world dominated by a wealthy elite where technology is used to oppress the masses. Wells foresaw a future where mechanization and automation had widened the gap between the rich and the poor, and where giant corporations and technologies controlled every aspect of human life. This dystopian future was ahead of its time, anticipating many of the issues we face today, from the rise of megacities to the growing influence of corporations and surveillance technology. Wells's novel serves as a reminder that while technology can bring progress, it can also be used to consolidate power and control. His warning resonates today as we grapple with issues of privacy, economic inequality, and the ethical use of technology. The Sleeper Awakes was not merely a science fiction novel, but a prophecy of how unrestrained technological progress could lead to a dystopian world. The novel echoes throughout modern culture, reminding us that progress must be tempered with foresight and ethical considerations. As we moved into the 20th century, society's imagination about the future became even more mechanized. One of the most iconic representations of the future, ruled by machines, is Fritz Lang's 1927 film Metropolis. This pioneering work of science fiction cinema depicted a world where the rich lived in towering skyscrapers while the working class toiled underground operating machines to keep the city running. At the heart of the story was a robot, Maria, who embodied both the utopian potential and the terrifying consequences of technological advancement. Lang's Metropolis envisioned a future where humanity had become secondary to the machines they created, a powerful commentary on industrialization and its impact on human society. The film reflects the growing anxieties of the time, where the rapid rise of technology was seen as both a blessing and a curse. It also touches on the theme of dehumanization in an increasingly mechanized world, a concern that is still relevant today as we face automation and the rise of artificial intelligence. The imagery of a city built around machines was groundbreaking at the time, and many of the film's visual elements have influenced our cultural imagination of the future ever since. Metropolis remains a visual and a thematic reference point for modern sci-fi films, from Blade Runner to The Matrix. It asks an essential question: will we control the machines of the future, or will they control us? At the same time that films like Metropolis were being made, a movement in Italy known as Futurism embraced the changes brought by technological advancement. The futurists saw machines, speed, and innovation as the keys to the future, celebrating the power of the industrial age. Artists like Filippo Tommaso Marinetti envisioned a world where humans would merge with machines, becoming faster, stronger, and more efficient. The futurists didn't just embrace the changes of the 20th century, they glorified them. They believed the future would be shaped by machines and that humanity would evolve to keep pace. Their vision was one of radical transformation, where the lines between man and machine would blur and speed and efficiency would become the dominant values of society. The ideas of the futurists were extreme, but their influence can be seen in many aspects of modern life. Today, we wear wearable technology, prosthetics that can restore mobility, and vehicles that operate without human intervention. The futurists dream of a world where humanity harnesses the power of machines to achieve heights is becoming a reality, but at what cost? Their vision of the future, while exciting, also raises questions about how much we are willing to sacrifice for progress. Fast forward to today, and we are living in a time when many of the predictions made by ancient civilizations, Renaissance thinkers, and early science fiction authors are becoming reality. The rise of artificial intelligence has brought us closer than ever to creating machines that can think, learn, and perhaps one day surpass human intelligence. From healthcare to transportation, AI is transforming the world around us. Artificial intelligence is the culmination of centuries of human imagination about the future of machines. What was once the realm of science fiction is now being developed in labs and tech companies around the world. AI systems are already capable of performing complex tasks that once seemed impossible, diagnosing diseases, driving cars, and even composing music. But as we stand on the brink of this new technological frontier, we must also consider the ethical implications of creating machines that can think for themselves. Will AI become a tool for improving human life, or will it lead to a world where humans are no longer in control? The questions raised by ancient philosophers and authors like Mary Shelley are more relevant than ever. Much like Frankenstein's monster, the AI systems we are creating today may have unintended consequences. And as we continue to develop these technologies, we must ensure that they are used responsibly and ethically. The future of AI will shape the course of human history, but we must be careful to steer it in the right direction. In the 21st century, the concept of the city of tomorrow has also evolved. Smart cities powered by AI, the Internet of Things, and renewable energy are becoming a reality. These cities are designed to be efficient, sustainable, and responsive to the needs of their inhabitants. In many ways, they are the modern equivalent of the clockwork automata from centuries past, intricately designed systems that operate with precision and purpose. These smart cities represent the future of urban living. They promise a world where technology is seamlessly integrated into daily life, where traffic flows smoothly, energy is conserved, and services are tailored to the individual's need. But while these cities offer incredible potential, they also raise concerns about privacy, security, and the increasing dependence on technology. In many ways, these smart cities of today are the realization of centuries-old dreams of mechanized societies. The idea of a city functioning like a perfectly tuned machine has fascinated humans for generations. However, just like the automata of the past, these smart cities are still controlled by human hands, and we should ensure that they are used to enhance human life rather than diminish it. So, from the astronomers of ancient Egypt and the calendar makers of the Mayans, to the brilliant inventors of the Renaissance and the visionary writers of early science fiction, humans have always looked to the future with a mix of wonder and trepidation. We have imagined worlds filled with flying machines, mechanical knights, and cities that hum with the power of technology. But as we move closer to realizing many of these visions, we must also remember the lessons of the past. The future is not predetermined. It is shaped by the choices we make today, informed by the dreams and warnings of those who came before us. The ancient Egyptians and Mayans taught us to look to the stars, while thinkers like Leonardo da Vinci and Mary Shelley showed us the power and the peril of human ingenuity. And as we stand on the brink of the AI age, we must continue to ask ourselves, what kind of future do we want to create? The future is a canvas upon which we paint our dreams and our fears. It is a story still being written, one that spans from the ancient skies to the cities of tomorrow. So what is your vision of tomorrow? Write down your version in the comments downstairs. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories about the visions of the future. If you like what you saw, perhaps you might want to visit my Patreon page. I do want to thank my long-standing patrons Dan and Lawrence Neal for being my fans for years now. In the meantime, I do hope to see you next time. Bye.